Here we are in the age of AI, and everybody's just cranking out content, and we're getting probably more email than ever. At least I feel like I am.
Yeah.
And
All of the lists that like had gone quiet in my email have suddenly like
yes,
woken up again, and it's just this
yeah, they're like,
barrage.
oh, I can email now.
I can't unsubscribe fast
So
enough.
right. What we're seeing is so many people just spitting out almost like template-y type stuff, and it's not necessarily that it's AI generated. I actually see. I talked to a client just yesterday who was struggling with getting a sales funnel up and running, and so I said, okay, let's sit down, let's talk about it. What are you doing? How are you getting your information? How are we putting this together? And she basically had gone through a course and she got all these email templates and she's just plugging these
Mm,
email templates into her system. And I was like, but that doesn't sound like you.
yeah.
You're not, she's not an overly funny brand. She's very educational. It's very
Yeah.
educational, very
Yeah.
straightforward. She puts out a lot of good content on her blog, and that's the voice. And these emails that from this person that she got these templates from, they're a funny brand. They
Yeah.
put emojis on everything, and there's just there's puns and there's humor, which I like. But I mean, that's not her voice. And I was like, well, I said, we're going to have to talk about these email templates. I said, because if you put these out there, you're really going to confuse the people that are on your list because that's not how
Mm,
you've been talking to them all this time.
yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, share with them a little bit about like what you were seeing in those emails. Were the templates made to kind of give a guide for someone, or were the templates made to be copied?
Well, the person giving out the template,
Yeah.
they want it to be a guide, but the receiver sometimes is like, you're in a hurry because most of the
Mm,
time, by the time you're getting to that email campaign, it's usually around a course or something that you're trying to sell. And most entrepreneurs put so much time and effort into the product, into creating the thing, that
absolutely.
then you get to go, oh yeah, I got to do the emails. And then it's like, well, there's a template. I could just, let me borrow from that and then we're good. And
Yeah.
that's not really how it works if you want to keep it on brand. And also if you want to connect with your audience, because if you create a great product, but your emails leading up to getting people to purchase the product don't match your brand, don't match your voice, don't
That's
connect
going to
with
be a
them,
problem.
it really is.
Yeah.
And what I'm seeing a lot of is just super generic content. When you get an email template from somebody, take a look at it first and read through it. And first of all, just does that even sound like me? Number
Hmm.
one. Number two, is it super generic? Because a lot of those templates are put in there as the course. They're bonuses, or they
Well,
may be
they're
part of the
made to
course.
be guardrails,
Yeah.
not to be like the exact thing
Well,
that you
they're
use at
made to
the
just
end.
literally get you going. Because if you
Yeah.
had to sit down and write this stuff from scratch, everybody procrastinates because it's like,
Hmm.
oh man, it's a chore. It's really gonna take a lot of brain power to do that.
Yeah.
So when you're taking that template, it's like, all right, I've got a framework now to work from. What was the structure of the email? It opened with a really good hook. Oh, and then it had a
Mm.
story, and then there was a testimonial.
When you go through and you get these templates, I actually would encourage you, if you have some of these, pull out a bunch of them from different
Yeah.
companies that you've worked with, because you will start to notice that there are some underlying threads, right? Some common types of things. They're going to have a hook at the beginning. They're going to have a challenge in the middle of it. They're going to tell you how it helps and how it paints a better future. And you'll start to be able to break that down, like Gretchen was saying, into what can then be the framework for you. Because the problem, it sounds like, is not that you're getting the framework. The problem is when you're using it as is. And
Hmm.
then you just sound like everybody else who's taken that course.
Chat GPT.
Yeah, that too. That too. Yeah.
That so I want to say something about that, because the very beginning stages, everything that we got out of it was just like, that doesn't sound like us. That's
Yeah.
just, it was way over the top, or it
It made
was,
me
she
really
hated
angry.
it. ChatGPT 4.0 came out. We were able to upload files of key phrases. Like we have get clear, get noticed, get paid. We
Yep.
have the names of all the products that we have. Like we have brand soul, and we have
Yeah.
our get clear workshop, and we have all these things. So it was just a big lexicon of catchphrases and things like that. And then or SEO keywords, also
Yeah.
another good option there. Our core values, and they listed things like all of the brand attributes. We've done the brand soul exercise on ourselves
A
multiple
number of
times.
times. Yes.
Unique value proposition, key links to landing pages on our website, not our whole website. I'm like, don't go look at our whole website. I would put links to key landing pages in there,
Mhm.
and that had content and were written in the voice. And then I picked a handful of blog posts that were also, hey, these are really, really informative. They were pretty lengthy and they really sound like
And
us.
one note on the blog post specifically, an easy way to do that if you're not quite sure which ones are best, go back and look at your Google Analytics and take a look at which are
True.
the ones
Yeah.
where the most traffic is going to and you have the highest people like length of time reading and engagement
Hmm.
with it. Those would be really good ones to go back and to pull and then to feed into your custom
Yeah.
chat GPT.
I just saved them as PDFs and then I upload them one at a time into
Yeah.
ChatGPT. And I said, this is our brand voice. This is how we sound. And I want all communications moving forward to, and all content that we create to have this voice. And when I did that, and then I started to generate more content out of ChatGPT, just brainstorming, getting ideas and things like that. Now it's starting to sound more like us.
Yeah. Not only are you feeding information into ChatGPT to train it to learn your voice and your lexicon and just kind of your quirks, but also then reviewing what it puts out and going through
Hmm.
and doing final edits, like adding in the little quips or the current pop culture references or things like that. Because the other thing that ChatGPT can't do is it cannot really understand context.
Correct.
And that is the human piece that you've got to bring to it. And the beauty of doing it this way is that it is actually built off of content you've already created. It's already built off of your voice and your thoughts. So it's not pulling that from other people, it's pulling it from you and
And
the way
I
that you
I,
speak.
I want to really stress it takes a lot of content to plug in there, because just saying, hey, or go look at my website and
Yeah.
now write my content, that's not going to cut it. Even after I uploaded all that content, I still had to go back and say, don't use that word.
Yeah.
Never say this in a title. Everything that I take out of ChatGPT, I'm taking that as, hey, this is a great first draft.
Yes. And I think even outside of ChatGPT or using AI for that, like circling again back to templates, whether it's
Hmm.
email templates or it's templates for web content or it is templates for your ebook, you want to go back and do the same thing. You have to have that foundation for yourself of knowing who you are as a brand. Like,
Hmm.
what is your brand soul? Like, what do you stand for? What do your ideal clients want from
That's the
you?
key.
Yeah. And what that voice is and really bringing that to the table. And when you go through like our brand soul exercise, or if you've been through something else with a different company, you're going to notice a repeat of the key things that show up over and over again. Those are the patterns, that you can really start to fold in, going back to the content that people have engaged with the most. Or if it's maybe you have more YouTube content than written content, going back to the videos that people have engaged with the most, seeing the comments that they leave, seeing the feedback that you're getting, or just looking at the topics you're talking about, that is going to really start to show you how you can weave that into something. So use these tools as that foundation to get you started, but then make it yours so that at the end of the day, it still feels completely genuine to you and to your brand, and it's making the impact that you actually want to make.
It doesn't mean you can't use these tools, in the AI age to get there faster, to help you brainstorm. You can take that at least and use that as a starting point. The number one thing, though, when we did it that really worked was when I took all of the attributes we did in our brand soul exercise.
Yes.
When I put all those attributes into the AI and I said, look, this is how we want our brand to sound when we're talking to customers. This is what our culture is like. This is what our voice is. This is what we want them to feel.
Yeah.
These are tangible things that they
The
get out of
impact that
it.
they're
This is our
getting
X
from it.
factor. This is how we're different. When I start plugging all of that in, applying that context, that's when we really got what we needed out of it. And that's when we could really take those tools and make them sound like us. And it also really helps us to understand us, regardless
Yeah.
of the AI tools. The brand soul exercise 100% helps us to understand these are the words we use when we talk to customers. These
Yes.
are how we talk to customers.
And you can then use it to train your team and the rest of your
Hmm.
staff and keep things consistent across all the different touch points that your brand has to offer. So if you have this pile of templates or you are ready to dive deeper into ChatGPT, but you're like, okay, I need it to sound like me, go through the brand soul exercise. It
Hmm.
is so incredibly important. Dig around on our website, you'll find it there. Ask questions here. We're happy to help. But honestly, that is 90 minutes of time that will change the trajectory of your business. And I'm not exaggerating. It
For sure.
really is the foundation for everything else to flow seamlessly. Bye bye.
See ya.